When archaeologists uncovered Pompeii, they found meals abandoned, doors left open, and people frozen in their final movements. An entire Roman city had been buried so quickly that its last day remained trapped beneath the ground for nearly 18 centuries. But Pompeii was not destroyed in a single instant. Its inhabitants had hours to escape. Some fled immediately, others waited. And with every passing hour, another route to survival disappeared. Pompeii left behind something almost no ancient disaster: preserved streets, buildings, possessions, human remains, and an eyewitness description written by someone watching Vesuvius from across the bay. Together, these clues allow us to reconstruct not only how the city died, but why so many people remained after escape was still possible. What did Pompeii's inhabitants see, and when did they realize the mountain was going to kill them? Pompeii was a prosperous Roman city near the Bay of Naples. Its streets contained temples, workshops, taverns, public baths, gardens, and luxurious homes, decorated with vivid frescoes. Vesuvius rose above the city, but its last major eruption lay beyond living memory. Romans did not possess modern volcanology, and there was no organized evacuation system waiting to warn them. 17 years earlier, a powerful earthquake had severely damaged Pompeii. Repairs were still continuing when the eruption began. Smaller tremors had become familiar enough that many residents may no longer have treated them as warnings. Exactly when the final day began remains disputed. A later copy of Pliny's letter gave the traditional date of the 24th of August. But autumn fruit, clothing, coins, and a charcoal message written after mid-October suggest the eruption may have happened later. What is certain is the geography. Pompeii stood southeast of Vesuvius. Herculaneum lay much closer to the mountain, while Misenum, where Pliny the Younger watched, stood across the Bay of Naples. The morning may have seemed almost normal. Shops opened, food was prepared, builders continued their work. Then, around midday, the mountain changed. Vesuvius exploded upward. Pliny the Younger later compared the cloud to a pine tree, a towering trunk rising into the sky before spreading into enormous branches. Across Pompeii, small fragments of white pumice began falling. At first, they may have seemed strange rather than immediately fatal. But the shower did not stop. Ash and pumice thickened until daylight faded. Pliny described darkness more complete than an ordinary night, as if every lamp had been extinguished inside a sealed room. The pumice accumulated on rooftops meter after meter. Residents who had taken shelter inside now faced a new danger. The weight above them, roofs and walls began collapsing. Remaining indoors offered protection from falling stones, but increased the risk of burial. Going outside meant darkness, earthquakes, choking ash, and streets already filled with debris. Pompeii's population may have numbered many thousands, yet only a fraction of that number has been recovered as victims. This strongly suggests that most inhabitants escaped before conditions became impossible. Some may have been elderly, ill, or unable to travel. Others may have guarded homes, businesses, or valuables. Many probably believed the eruption would weaken, and that remaining under shelter was safer than entering the darkness. Across the bay, Pliny the Elder commanded Rome's naval fleet at Misenum. At first, he approached the phenomenon as a naturalist. Then a desperate message arrived from people trapped near the mountain. He ordered warships across the bay, not away from Vesuvius, but toward it. Hot ash fell onto the decks as terrified people crowded the shoreline seeking escape. Changing winds, floating debris, and rough water made landing increasingly dangerous. Some harbors became unreachable. The eruption was not only burying cities, it was closing the bay around them. During the night, the ground shook violently. Recent research suggests that eruption-triggered earthquakes contributed to collapsing buildings and may have killed people before the final volcanic currents reached them. For hours, the eruption column had carried material upward. Then parts of that towering column began collapsing. Dense clouds of ash, rock, and superheated gas poured down the mountain. Herculaneum lay closer to Vesuvius. Pyroclastic currents reached it earlier, overwhelming people sheltering near the shoreline and burying the town beneath meters of volcanic material. Pompeii remained beyond the first currents. For those still alive, this was the final window to escape. But pumice had buried streets, buildings had collapsed, and the darkness made direction almost impossible. Near dawn, a pyroclastic surge finally entered Pompeii. It was not lava. It was a turbulent cloud of hot gas, ash, and pulverized rock, moving faster than the remaining inhabitants could run. Some victims had already died beneath collapsing roofs. Others were overwhelmed by the final currents. Heat, ash, and toxic gases made survival impossible for those caught in their path. The famous human forms found at Pompeii are not bodies turned to stone. Flesh decayed inside hardened ash, leaving empty spaces around the skeletons. During 19th century excavations, plaster was poured into those cavities, capturing clothing, expressions, and final positions. Yet even the casts do not tell us exactly what each person felt or why they stayed. Their positions preserve the end of movement, not a complete account of their decisions. The same disaster that killed those who remained also sealed their world. Election notices, graffiti, gardens, bakeries, tools, food and rooms abandoned in the middle of ordinary life. Pompeii was not destroyed by one thing. Pumice buried streets and collapsed roofs. Earthquakes brought down weakened masonry. Darkness and debris delayed escape. Finally, pyroclastic currents ended the city's last chance of survival. We can reconstruct the eruption hour by hour, but important questions remain. We still debate its exact date, the total population, the number who escaped, and the precise causes of death for individual victims. Pompeii's deepest mystery may not be why the mountain erupted, but why human beings reacted so differently. Some fled before the roads vanished. Others remained until waiting became more dangerous than running. On Pompeii's final day, sheltering inside became a trap. But elsewhere in the ancient world, an entire population survived danger by doing the opposite, descending beneath the earth. Why did as many as 20,000 people hide beneath an ancient city?